Happy New Year! You're watching Philodendron, and in today's video, I'm showing you all the plants that I got in December 2020. It's time for my December 2020 haul. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Patrick, and I'm a houseplant collector with an ever-growing collection of plants. And I upload every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So if you want to see how I grow my collection and keep my plants happy, then you should definitely hit subscribe. In today's video, I'm showing you all the plants that I got in December 2020. It's time for my monthly haul. Okay, so the first plant that I want to show you guys is a plant that's been at the top of my wish list, but it was also one of the plants that I first got in December. So I'm really excited to have it, and it is the Philodendron melanochrysum. And this little guy, it has been in my collection for almost a month now. But what I didn't realize is how much of a slow grower it is. But the fact that it is growing is exciting. And this little leaf was developing when I got it, and I think it's finally about to start unfurling, maybe within the next 2 weeks or so, just because of how slow it does grow. But I am thrilled to add this Philodendron melanochrysum to my collection. Okay, so the next plant that I want to show you guys is this Deiffenbachia Memoria Corsii. This is a really pretty Deiffenbachia, and I'm super excited to add it to my collection. And I got this it was one of those days where I went to Armstrong Nursery before work, and I saw this guy and I was like, how interesting. And I've seen how big Deiffenbachias get, so I'm super excited to add this one to my collection. This is the Deiffenbachia Memoria Corsii. And then the next plants that I want to show you are the plants that I bought for Christmas, like not necessarily like as Christmas gifts or like, you know, but I bought them as like Christmas decorations. I went kind of minimalist with my Christmas decor this year, and I just used plants. And these are the plants that I got to bring me a little bit of some holiday cheer. So these aren't necessarily Christmas plants, but I bought these because they somehow reminded me of Christmas. They were festive in their looks. And I got this bright red Anthurium, as well as this tiny red Anthurium. And I got these polka dot plants as well. I watched this video by Carmen Whitehead. She has an awesome channel, so if you're not subscribed to her channel, I recommend you check her out and pay her channel a visit and show her some love, because she actually inspired me to buy some non-traditional Christmas plants, and I thought these were just enough cheer for me, especially this year. And I found this guy at Lowe's for the very good price of $15. This was at Visser's Florist. If you didn't watch that video, I will put that up here, but it was a really cool greenhouse with very decent prices, so I loved that place. And I got these two plants there. This was only $8 total, so it was a good trip. I didn't spend too much money, and these plants did just the trick as far as bringing me a little bit of holiday cheer. So the next plant that I'm going to show you guys is the plant that I got from the Sunland Flowers pop-up. And right when I went to their first pop-up in December 6th, I want to say, I was super into these Anthurium. And she had this Anthurium Zizou, and I just thought it was so cute with their elongated leaves and that purple inflorescence and that, you know, this kind of modified leaf. I just snagged it because it was only $10 and I can't go wrong with that price. So it's done well for me. I have this in my east facing window, and I also supplement it with some grow lights, so fairly easy and low care. And I was super excited when I watered it because I realized that this thing had drainage holes, or a drainage hole, so that was great. Speaking of anthuriums, the next plant that I'm going to show you is another anthurium, but I was super excited to find this because it's not necessarily a well-known, or not everyone has it as far as nurseries go, and I never really see it out except for this one time that I saw it out at Upland Nursery in Orange, California, and that place is one of my favorite nurseries to visit for really unique houseplants. And it is this Anthurium Faustomirandae, or Faustinos giant. And these are well known to have the really large leaves, if not the biggest Anthurium leaves. So I'm super excited to see this grow and for it to give me some really huge leaves. This is my Anthurium Faustomirandae. Next plant that I want to show you is also another plant that I got from Upland Nursery, and it's one of those plants that just, the genus is pretty common. It's a Croton, but I thought this was really interesting and really pretty too. So I'm excited to grow this one and add this one to my collection. It is this Croton Tamara. It has these white leaves with, it's funny because it looks like the green is the variegated part. I was gonna say with green variegations, but it's a variegated Croton, and it's mainly white with some green in it, and I think it's really pretty. I've been successful with 2 of my other Crotons. I only have 2 other Crotons, but so I feel like pretty confident in growing this guy. I've been giving him some east-facing morning sun and just bright light the rest of the day, and it's been doing really well for me so far. I just water it when it's dry and, you know, the usual. This is my Croton Tamara. So the next plants that I'm going to show you guys are the plants that I got from Evergreen Nursery. It's another one of my favorite nurseries here in Orange County, and it is also not a far drive from me, so it's a little too close. And the first one that I got from there is this Alocasia Polly. I've never seen one this juvenile and immature, so I thought it was super cute, and I think it's really interesting that I have a chance to kind of raise one from this to how big they get. So I'm super excited to get to know the Alocasia Poly just a little more and show you guys how this one grows. So, oh yeah, and I also got this for just $8, so I thought, why not? The next plant that I'm going to show you guys is another plant that I'm super excited to add to my collection. I feel like December was the month that I got really into cacti and succulents, desert plants especially. I went to the Morton Botanical Garden in November, right before Thanksgiving, and that really shifted or inspired me to collect more desert plants because of how cool and beautiful that place was. So I got this Euphorbia obesa, also at Evergreen Nursery, and this guy is just so beautiful, and I think I actually have a male flowering obesa because of the way that it flowers. It has these like 4 little spikes instead of the 3. I think that it's a male, but we shall see. I actually got my mother one too for Christmas, or as part of her Christmas gift, and I'm pretty sure that hers is female, so I have an opportunity to maybe like pollinate or like cross-pollinate these and see what happens. Okay, and next that I got from Evergreen are plants that I used to never really pay attention to. I actually kind of thought that they were like meh looking, and for a while there I was not attracted to these at all, but I saw them enough, I guess, and after a while I kind of just became obsessed with them, and I got these 2 little Fittonias from Evergreen Nursery. These are beautiful, actually. These are Fittonia albivenis. This is the pink one, and this is the white one. And I just love that intricate veining on the leaf. And the larger that they grow, the more impressive that they look too. I don't know, it's just something happened where all of a sudden I'm in love with these plants, and now whenever I see one out, it's almost hard for me to put it down, but I'm like, no, these aren't like Brazils. All the leaves look the same. You don't need another pink or white Fittonia. So I love these guys, and I'm super excited to start growing them and see how they look once they get bigger and grow. And the next plant that I got from Evergreen is this Brazil. You guys know how I love Brazils, and this was one of the ones that I was just like, ooh, I can't leave you, because it had this really beautiful leaf that looks like it was painted, and then it has this giant leaf that barely has any variegation, and it has this one that's like almost all yellow, and this landslide like leaf, I don't know, it was just super interesting, and I love when it's bright yellow like this. And then the new growth comes in with this like peachy orange stem, and it's just so pretty and so happy looking, and I can't help but to smile whenever I look at this plant. So I ended up with another Brazil. This plant that I'm going to show you guys is another Hoya that I got, but I never knew that there were so many Hoya Pubicalyxes. There's like, I don't know. I have 3 now, and I didn't even know there were 3. So I got this Hoya Pubicalyx red buttons from Upland Nursery, and yeah, it's been pretty chill. I like these super long leaves, and what's really cool about them is that these new leaves come in this deep red color, and the flowers are these beautiful dark red buttons. So I hope you bloom for me, and I'm excited to have this guy. So the next plants that I'm going to show you guys are the plants that I got as gifts, and I'm super excited to start getting plants as gifts now, so thank you guys. And the first plant that I got is this Hoya Pubicalyx Reva that my best friend Christine got from the Berkeley Botanical Garden. I think that sounds so cool, and I didn't even know that they sold plants. So thank you, Christine, and thank you, Ben, for getting me this awesome plant. I'm super excited to add this to my collection, and I think it's so beautiful and super cool that I have something from a botanical garden. The next plant that I got is from one of you guys, and I am just like so blown out of the water and so touched. So I don't know, let me just show you guys. I got this awesome Raven Zizou from Yali. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you reaching out to me and giving me this plant. Like, that is so kind and so generous and such a nice gesture, and I'm really excited to add this to my collection, and I'm also really excited to have you as a new plant friend. So thank you so much for your kindness and generosity. It was super nice meeting you, and I can't wait for more plant adventures with you guys to come. So if you ever see me out, just say hi. You don't have to buy me gifts because this was like super nice, but I really appreciate it, and I will love this forever. So thank you, Yali. So the next gift that I got isn't necessarily for me, but it is for my cats. And this is for my sister. She gave me this huge pot of catnip because Ziggy loves to eat my maidenhair fern. And I think maybe he might enjoy hanging out with this guy more. So thank you to my sister Megan. Ziggy has sniffed this so far, but I think Wolfie actually likes it a little more, so we shall see. So the next plant that I got is a special plant. December was a little bit of a difficult month for me and my household because we actually went through a really big loss, and it was difficult. Like I thought I'd prepared for it, and I feel like no matter how much you think you prepared for the loss of a pet, it still hurts like 1,000 times more. And I wanted to honor her life with us with a plant, of course, and it's also part of my coping. I like to shop for plants. So I got this Ficus Ruby to honor the life of our dear Ruby, and this is her. I just thought I'd show you guys her picture so that you can put like a face to the name. This is Kingsley. He's still with us, but this is Ruby, and she was so special, and she was our lady of the house, and it's really sad. I actually just got her ashes back, so it feels good to have her home, and this is my little monument for Ruby, a Ficus Ruby. Okay, and the next plant that I got in December is actually another plant that I bought in my coping state because I thought this was going to be the plant that I got for Ruby. It just didn't feel right. This is a Ficus Americana. Tresor is what it's called. And although like it is beautiful, it just didn't feel like her, so I knew I had to get that Ficus Ruby, and that is why that plant is special to me, and that's why I was looking for it in December. But I got this initially, and you guys know I'm a sucker for Ficus. So I just have this guy, and yeah, this is the Ficus Americana. And the next plant that I got is another ficus. It was also during that time, like, grieving, I guess. Like, makes me just want to buy a bunch of plants. And I was actually looking for the Ficus Ruby, and I saw this guy. This is a Ficus Petiolaris again. This is my second Ficus Petiolaris. I just couldn't resist because it was so cute and so full. And it just, I don't know, I liked it. So I added another Ficus Petiolaris to my collection. I actually like having multiple types of different plants, if you can already tell. But I like to put them in different places with different conditions and just see which one does better. It's part of how I learn about plants, and it's fun to me. So this is the Ficus Petiolaris, and I am in love with it. It's like one of my favorite ficuses. So the next plant that I'm going to show you guys is a plant that acquired through a trade, and it's the coolest plant. This is the Alocasia dragon scale, and what happened was I traded my Philodendron squamiferum with Tammy from Houseplant Nation. So thank you again, Tammy. I'm loving my baby. I hope you are too. This guy is beautiful, and I feel a little more confident with Alocasia thanks to my Alocasia Black Velvet. I love that thing because it's been such a great teacher, and I give this guy the same treatment, and I don't know, I haven't had any problems since or yet. It's just a little too soon to tell, but I hope I can keep you happy. This is my Alocasia dragon scale. So the next plant that I'm going to show you guys is this Peperomia Capparata. I don't know, I kind of regret getting this. I never know what I'm doing with Peperomia, and I feel like it's already like starting to decline. And I've only been able to keep one Peperomia Capparata alive and happy, and it is... So the only Capparata that I've been successful with is this Shumi Red, and I bought this from an Etsy seller over the summer. And this is actually like one of the smaller plants that came in the pot, or it was bare root, but the bigger one died. And I've been able to keep this one alive just by keeping it in this little candy jar. But I'm not about to buy a greenhouse cabinet for my Peperomia. My Philodendron and Anthurium have been doing just fine without it, so I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be buying any more Peperomia Capparatas. So the next plant that I'm going to show you guys is a plant that I got from the same nursery. It was the Rosales Nursery in Long Beach. I really love that place. They had some really good prices and some beautiful plants. And I got this Stromanthe Trio Star. And I can't believe I got it for $8. This was such a good deal. I always see Stromanthe Trio Stars for like, the cheapest I've ever seen it is like $21 maybe, all the way up to $30. So never ate until I saw this guy and I was like, sold. Okay, the next plant that I'm going to show you guys I also got from Rosales Nursery, also at a very good deal. and I just couldn't pass it up. I killed my first sensitive plant when I didn't know what I was doing, but I was super excited to find them because these remind me of being a little kid in the Philippines. When I was a little kid, our house in the Philippines, the backyard, like it's how I remember it. There was this like giant wall and it was just covered with sensitive plant, and I used to just touch the leaves. I would walk through and run my hands through and watch the leaves react. It was the coolest experience, like it was a cool memory, and it just kind of took me back. So when I saw this for $2, I was like, okay, why not? So this is my sensitive plant, or the Mimosa pudica. And the next plant that I got in December is a plant that I don't normally see out, even though it's like in theory is fairly common. I just never see Homalomena out, and I don't know, I was just really excited. I was like, ooh, and I was at Green Touch Nursery, where all the house plants are $10. They specialize in cacti and succulents, desert plants, and their plants are beautiful, but their house plants are also beautiful and such a good deal. So I will definitely be going back. I loved Oscar. He is actually like one of my favorite nursery owners that I've ever met because of how much of a character he was, and he has so much information and knowledge that he's just willing to share. So if you're ever at Green Touch, make sure you talk to Oscar. He's gonna make sure that you take good care of the cactus or succulent that you get from there. So I got this Homalomena, and I hope to see more Homalomena varieties or cultivars or species, whatever, out here in the US. I feel like we never really get a lot of Homalomenas, and I'd love to get those arubescens, I think is what it's called, those variegated Homalomena that a lot of people in Europe have. So I hope those come our way. So the next plants that I got are plants that I got on the very last day of, almost the very last day of the year. So lately, Ms. Kala Nursery in Long Beach has been posting about these beautiful variegated string of hearts, and I am so glad that I got one. I traded my regular string of hearts, my Ceropegii woodii. I traded that in for a Cebu Blue Pothos, and I like kind of made the decision that I'm gonna replace it with a variegated string of hearts because they're so pretty, and I'm really excited to add this guy. Maybe I will find another one to combine them because I'm impatient and I want a nice full pot, or I might just see this one grow. I got this for $40, which is a super good price at Ms. Kala Nursery. So yeah, if they still have any, like, I recommend you go now and get them because these guys are awesome, and this is a really good deal. I've seen them go for like $55 and up, so $15 off. This plant that I got is this Peperomia Hope that I got from Latinx with Plants in LA. And I've never really seen this guy out either, but I've seen this on Instagram, and everyone's Peperomia Hopes are so cute. So I'm excited to add this to my collection. And not only is this plant cute, but Latinx with Plants is a great small business. I like thoroughly enjoyed shopping at both of their locations because everyone working there was super nice and super cool, and I can totally see myself being friends with them. And then finally, I got plant mail on New Year's Eve. Can you believe that? I was so shocked when this guy arrived, or this lady. I think she's a lady. It is a Scindapsus pictus silver splash, and these leaves are beautiful. I used to mistake these, like people used to ask for these on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, that's like an exotica, right? But if you pay attention to the leaf design, it's totally different. It has more of like it looks like a paintbrush, just like is it stippling when in art where you just like draw a bunch of dots? It looks like that, and I don't know, it's so pretty. And I love Scindapsus.
Okay, all right. Add it up. Okay, all right.
Well, that was my December haul. I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun showing you all the plants that I got. And if you like this video, please throw me a bone and give me a thumbs up. And if you want to support my channel and see more of my plant videos, which I hope you do, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out and it's free for you. And I can't wait to see you in the next video, but I don't want to miss you too much. So if you could show me some love in the comment section, and I'll meet you there.